Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hockey Podcast. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at podcast_hockey, Facebook.com, the Hockey Podcast, YouTube.com, the Hockey Podcast. Also, subscribe wherever you get your audio. No intro today. And the reason just simply is it doesn't feel like a fun time in hockey right now at all, does it? It's the Hockey Podcast news pack for Thursday, December the 16th. And it's just, you know, uh, to the it's more players on COVID protocol is basically the headline. There is a couple of other news we will touch on, but we'll start with the Calgary Flames again because they've been one team that's been heavily impacted. There are only 5 players on the current NHL roster that are not in protocol. Those are Dan Vladar, Michael Stone, Michael Backlund, Blake Coleman, and Matthew Tkachuk. Um, you basically, if the Flames were to play now, they'd have to call up pretty much their entire AHL lineup. And it's yeah. So as you know, they have postponed the games until Tuesday for the Flames at this particular point. Um, but at this point, it's tough to say when the Flames are going to be back in action. This is I would think this is the worst COVID protocol, COVID outbreak probably in the league this year. And It's just a very brutal situation. However, let's add some good news into that here as Frank Saravelli was speaking today, and let me see if I can push this up. Cervelli was mentioned, talked on Sportsnet 650 that most players around the league in COVID protocols are asymptomatic and are experiencing mild symptoms. So there is some good news there, but hopefully that is some positive signs, but it's just not looking good here. The Montreal Canadiens are playing tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers. It has been announced the Montreal Canadiens will not have fans in the stands for the game tonight. So when you're watching that game, so you will note that, of course, Ontario has restricted capacity to under 1,000 to 50% right now. So that's impacting. You'll see a lower crowd at Sens games and Leafs games and Raptors games as well, and that affects the OHL as well. The So it's been a very tough tough situation. Uh, Basically, Quebec Public Health, the team said uh, the request to shutter tonight's game to the public came from Quebec public officials that came to the Canadiens, in which the Canadiens accepted in order to help to ensure the safety and security of our fans and fellow citizens throughout our community. Continuing in the statement, more details will follow in the days to come as the portrait of this ever-evolving pandemic becomes clearer. In the interim, we would continue to encourage everyone to get vaccinated, get their booster shots when possible, and be responsible with their social and family gatherings throughout the holidays. We hope that with rigor and a collective effort from all of us, we will be able to come together in a near future in 2022. So so Ontario is put a pause. Quebec Ontario has done a restriction. Quebec, here we've got an empty stadium at Bell Center. We aren't sure what's going to happen in BC, Alberta, and Manitoba as of yet. Nothing has been announced from that point, so it's hard to say one way or another. But it is starting to get more frustrating for players as well. Even the Colorado Avalanche today, they're in their game tonight. They will be playing shorthanded as give me one moment here as I pull this out. 11 forwards, 6 defensemen. Andre Burakovsky, JT Compher, and Devon Toews are out tonight. So 11 forwards, 6 defensemen. The Arizona Coyotes have just, according to Craig Morgan, have some names on that list at this particular point. It includes Lawson Krause, Jay Beagle, some staff. So more testing coming tomorrow, according to Craig Morgan. Uh, we back to the Flames. Wes Gilbertson tweeted, test results have confirmed Flames do have some cases of Omicron variant, and it takes several days to confirm the strain of any positive, but there is Omicron present. That shouldn't come as a surprise given the rapid spread. And it's now gotten to the point where Nick Cousins has spoken out on Twitter today. He tweeted that there needs to be a call to pause the season, which I think there's a lot of public support for this right now. It just doesn't feel for a lot of people that games should be going on. It feels like the more that this spreads, even though it is mild, it's just causing more cause, and maybe it's a time for pause for that. So I know the NHL is in a position where they do not want to be pausing games, and they want to stretch as long as possible. To looking at the Vancouver Canucks, they had some good news that no other players were confirmed positive. However, in their game against San Jose tonight, Jason King is on COVID protocol, assistant coach, so he will not be there. There was some concern about the Canucks heading to San Jose. It's a one-game road trip in the States. If someone does get a COVID positive test, they could be stuck there for a while. So that will be that's a situation to be monitoring as well. So there's still basically a lot of this very fluid, a lot of up in the air situations in terms of games and fans, and it's just where we are at this particular point in time. Um, More players are going on COVID protocol, and hopefully everything is mild. Hopefully everybody is okay, and hopefully this we can get past this as quickly as possible. I'm no expert. I'm no epidemiologist. I will not sit here and make any predictions. I just can give the information here. It's a difficult situation, though, for all involved, and especially at this time of year where as of this recording, 9 days before the Christmas day, and other holidays are going on at this time. And it's been over a year for some people to be having an opportunity to connect with their family because of last year. And it's just feeling, I can understand where people are feeling very down at this particular point in time. Some other injury news to get into. Kevin Labanc is out 3 months with shoulder surgery. Um, he has 6 points this season, so you will not see him against the Vancouver Canucks tonight, who, by the way, called Guillaume Brisebois. Say that name three times fast. He is on an emergency recall, but Kevin Labanc will not be in the lineup tonight for the San Jose Sharks. And Robin Hagg for the Buffalo Sabres is month to month. He is uh, he's month to month with a lower body injury for the Buffalo Sabres. He was injured on Tuesday against the Winnipeg Jets. He has scored 5 points, 1 goal, 4 assists in 25 games this season. And in terms of the Winter Classic that is scheduled to go on New Year's Day, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, there will be some performance there. Thomas Rhett will be performing at the Winter Classic. If you watched the Kraken Ducks game last night, there was a lot of promotion about that game. It's at Target Field in Minneapolis. But Thomas Rhett will be playing in the first intermission of that, so watch out for that. What I did not get into yesterday was also the CHL rankings, so let's make sure that we touch on that as they come out every Wednesday. And with all of the COVID protocols, I did miss that, but I wanted to get into that here for a moment here and touch on that as well as um, we look here at the standings. And as I do some good podcasting and pull this up as I'm looking here, and as a reminder, of course, we do have pod clips that we have sending out. We had our podcast on Monday where we spoke a lot about COVID cap relief and what was going on with the Flames and the Canucks and all of that sort of stuff. And that is, so check that out there as well. But in terms of the actual rankings for the Canadian Hockey League, the last couple of weeks, it's been the top four have come from the Western Hockey League. And so this we'll see here as well. And also the CHL announced their broadcasting broadcast with the TSN as well. So we'll get into that as well as we go in here, as we just pull up the rankings here. And my apologies for the slow delay here. My computer is a little slow in terms of pulling this up. Let's go through here. There we go. Sorry about that. CHL tweets a lot of content, but as I mentioned, of course, TSN has the broadcasting right, so they have announced that. So here they are in terms of the top 10. It is not the top 4 are not from the Western Hockey League anymore. It is, as the Silvertips have went down, as have the Kamloops Blazers. So as we look at the standings here, the Winnipeg Ice continue to rank number 1, the Edmonton Oil Kings number 2, the Kingston Frontenacs number 3, Charlottetown Islanders are number 4, the Kamloops Blazers have slipped to number 5. They're in a bit of a stumble right now. Everett Silvertips as well slipped to 6, Sherbrooke Phoenix 7, North Bay Battalion 8, number 9 the Quebec Ramparts, and London Knights are number 10. So that is interesting there, as 3 teams from the Q are there. There are 4 teams from the WHL and 3 from the OHL, rounding out your top 10 for Week 11 in the Canadian Hockey League. And just to touch on the schedule, broadcast schedule, that has been announced today by the Canadian Hockey League and TSN, which is now the partner. And as we just pull that information up here, as of course, also catch Area 51, as they'll be broadcasting the games for or covering the World Junior Hockey Championships as well. By the way, just another WHL note: the Brandon Wheat Kings have put pen to paper to their third and fourth pick of the WHL draft, Charlie Ellick and Roger McQueen, as we pull that information as well. There. Thinking on the fly here. So the TSN schedule is for 21-21 regular season. January 14th, you'll be seeing Sudbury versus Kingston. January 14th as well, Prince George Cougars against the Vancouver Giants. January 21st, Connor Bedard and the Regina Pats against the Brandon Wheat Kings. At Kitty Bathurst versus Drummondville. February 4th, Kamloops Blazers versus the Vancouver Giants. February 11th, London versus Kitchener. The London Knights versus the Kitchener Rangers. February 18th, Sherbrooke versus Rimouski. February 28th, OHL Oshawa versus Kingston. March 11th, back to DQ, Shawinigan versus Victoriaville. So apologies for the delay there. I've had a bit of a technical issue, so I was pulling that information up. But we got our news out for today. Of course, again, follow Sean Beardy, Canuck 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Chris Schneid's SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhouse 09, IMKEVOLE, podcast_hockey, Facebook.com, the hockey podcast, YouTube.com, the hockey podcast as well. And we will be back actually not tomorrow for a news pack. We'll be back on Monday to do another news pack, as I have another previous engagement. But we do thank you for watching these, and if you do like them, share them. We'll be building these more a little bit as we go on here. It's been a kind of a new project that I have picked up, wanting to bring out the news, and as we go forward, there will be some improvements to that. And we thank you for your patience. We thank you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.